This is breaking news.
We begin tonight with breaking news and a potential child predator on the loose in Lewiston. Good evening, I'm John Webb. Right now, Lewiston police are putting out a warning after a man tried to abduct a little girl. Officers say it happened around 5 this evening near the Lewiston Community Center. The little girl was able to get away and is now safe with her family, but the man who tried to take her hasn't been found. Authorities say he's about 6 feet tall, average build, last seen wearing a black hoodie and joggers, a gray beanie, and black shoes with white laces. If you have any idea who this person is or if you've seen something, you're asked to contact the Lewiston Police Department. In a crime tracker alert, Spokane police say several gun stores have been broken into in the past 2 days, including 2 burglaries just this morning. Police say it started early Wednesday morning when the thieves used a stolen car to breach a gun store on Trent. It happened again at the same store early this morning. Minutes later, a car crashed through the door of another gun store on Green Street. Right now, it's not clear how many guns were stolen. Spokane police say they're looking for the suspects and investigating whether the thefts are connected. If you have any information about what happened, you should call Crime Check. Tonight, a family in Spokane Valley needs your help after their car was stolen with their service dog inside. The woman says she was in a minor accident, so she pulled into the Argonne Plaza parking lot to exchange information and take pictures of the 2 cars. She says her car has an issue starting up, so she left it running. But when she turned her back, someone jumped inside of the driver's seat and sped off. In the car was her service dog, Jetta. She says her daughter has special needs and Jetta helps her with her day-to-day life. If you've seen the car or Jetta, please call Crime Check. Tonight, one person is in the hospital after a high-speed chase on Spokane South Hill this morning. The frightening crash happened right after 10 o'clock on 29th and Southeast Boulevard. Police say the driver was speeding when they swerved and crashed into a sign. They were going too fast and the car split into 2 pieces on impact and the driver was ejected. They were taken to a nearby trauma center with serious injuries, but they're expected to survive. The area was closed for a while, but it's back open tonight. Officers are still investigating what exactly caused this crash. In North Idaho this morning, a Jeep Grand Cherokee crashed into the post office on 7th Street and Lakeside in Coeur d'Alene. According to the Coeur d'Alene Police Department, they're not aware if it was a driver or a mechanical error. No one was injured in the crash, thankfully. The vehicle received damage to the front end of the car and the post office's front windows were shattered. The post office did remain open for the rest of the day. And taking a live look over downtown tonight, pretty clear skies, but was pretty wet earlier in the evening. Ashley Loessa is in for Blake tonight. And Ashley, you're tracking the potential for some snow heading into our region.
That's right. We had the first of 2 weather systems that's going to really move in, something that we're already tracking right now. Now, as far as that current satellite radar goes, well, much of that active weather is really along central portions of Idaho, really along the Idaho-Montana border towards Lookout Pass is where right now we're looking at some lighter snow accumulation. Nevertheless, it is accumulating, and right now we are tracking some slick roads at the moment. So for those of you or your loved ones looking to travel along Lookout Pass towards I-90, we just want to make sure that we are prepared for some slick conditions, even across the region with that wintry mix that we had going on, but that system is pushing south and east of Spokane. Now, right now, we're sitting below freezing, 30 degrees right now, so that is what we have going on. Cold temperatures, but it definitely doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's 23 degrees, some generally light winds right now. And what about the rest of the region? Well, nothing but 30s with 41 degrees right now out in Lewiston. It's going to be an active weekend for us, especially for those mountain passes. Stay tuned for that on my full forecast, but first, let's take it right back over to John at the desk.
All right, Ashley, looking good. Thank you. We are less than 24 hours away from this year's Apple Cup. Washington and Washington State going head-to-head with the bragging rights on the line. Austin Getz is here now in the Northern Quest Sports Studio with more. Austin?
Thank you, John. Every year, the Apple Cup is important, whether the teams are battling for a conference championship or just battling to get their first win. This year, it's important for a reason we've never seen in the previous 113 meetings of this rivalry. Last year, the Cougars ended their 7-year drought, but the party didn't end when the clock hit triple zeros. The Cougar fans stormed the field at Husky Stadium. We've seen that before. But then quarterback Jaden DeLora planted the Wazoo flag at midfield. That is something we hadn't seen, and it's something the Husky players haven't forgot.
That we've been thinking about for a long time ever since it happened. The disrespect. So we keep that to fuel us and make that something that we go out there and every day and practice hard and execute just like we need to. So that can never happen again.
Yeah. It's something I'll never forget. It's the ultimate. To me, that was the ultimate disrespect, and it was really a line that was crossed. I think that's something that you just don't do, and so. It's hard to let go of it. I don't think any of us really have, and I don't know if any of us ever will, that were part of that last year.
Now Washington State, on the other hand, are defending the Apple Cup and trying to hold on to it for an extra year. The Cougs haven't put a lot of bulletin board material out there this week, but that certainly doesn't mean that they don't feel those same emotions coming into this game.
Emotions run high in games like this, I know from experience, so I can't wait to be on the field with my boys because I just know the energy is going to be different. I just know it is.
We look at that timer every single day up in our locker room, so we know it's getting close. It's just a different kind of energy this week. Obviously, we want to take every opponent, the same, and not let us get outside of ourselves. But we all know what week it is. It's the Apple Cup week.
Late kickoff, 7:30 tomorrow. It is also senior night for the Cougs. They will honor that class before the game. Washington State looking for their first repeat Apple Cup win since 2007 and 2008. By this time tomorrow night, we should know the winner of the Apple Cup. That is, unless the game goes into overtime. And in this rivalry, we've seen that before. John?
All right, we'll be looking for that. Austin, thank you. Sharing the good tonight, they say once a Coug, always a Coug. Today, Corey Howard spoke with a woman who is no stranger to saving lives, but there are two lives in particular she saved recently that she'll always remember because of their Cougar connection, all while fighting for her own life.
It's been a rough 11 months.
December will mark 1 year since Andrea Perry was diagnosed with cancer.
I would say that even though this is one of the worst years of my life, it's also been one of the most positive years of my life.
Positive because the wife, mother, and perhaps most important for this story, diehard Coug fan, is capping off the year with some good news.
As of now, I'm in remission.
And the cherry on top, a new contact in her phone.
To be on texting terms with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, the Mississippi mustache.
I got a text from Gardner Minshew.
More on that in a moment, because earlier in the season, in the middle of fighting cancer, Andrea posted this on a Cougar Facebook page.
Cheering from afar, like fighting cancer, so can't make the game today.
And if you're unfamiliar with the WSU community, well, Cougs take care of Cougs. And someone reached out to Andrea before the Utah game.
Hey, I have, box level seats like we're not going to use. Would you like to use them for the Utah game?
A kind offer Andrea would gladly accept, and an offer that would ultimately save the life of another Cougar fan.
Right before the game, I noticed a man who didn't look like he was doing so well. And he was really pale, he was really diaphoretic, and he was kind of like stumbling.
An ER nurse for years and now a nurse practitioner.
The guy went completely unresponsive.
Andrea went into nurse mode.
I was feeling for a pulse the whole time, and I didn't feel one, so that's when I started CPR.
And saved that man's life.
This all started with me just making a post about my cancer journey, leading into me saving this guy.
Word of Andrea's heroics spread, and a few weeks later, she was invited to a special tailgating party, so her and her family left for the game early.
As we were leaving, I said, hopefully this game's less eventful than the last home game, like making a joke.
But just outside of Colfax, along 195, Andrea would be needed again.
There's a man laying on the ground and people running towards him. Something's not right.
Again, by some miracle, right place, right time.
The instinct kicked in again, and I jumped out.
The man on the side of the road, Joe Mercar, was having what was originally thought to be a stroke, and then...
As I was talking, he went into a seizure, like a really severe seizure. He turned blue, he went unresponsive.
Andrea and her husband turned Joe on his side to make sure he could breathe during his seizure. Joe came through and was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. And on the side of Highway 95, the man Joe was traveling with knew exactly who had just helped save his friend.
I know who you are. He said, I just read about you last week. I don't know how you're here. You're truly an angel. Like, how is that happening? I said, I don't know.
2 lives saved simply from a chain of events that started with a simple Go Cougs post. Can you explain it?
I can't. It's so bizarre to me.
Divine intervention? Perhaps. Case of lightning striking twice? Maybe. Cougar spirit?
Totally Cougar spirit, yeah.
Definitely.
It just goes to show, like, the community that Cougars are. When one of their own's fighting, everyone rallies together to help them.
And that indeed means everyone. even Gardner Minshew.
It was one of the best days. He texted me. He's like, hey, it's Gardner Minshew. You're such a badass.
It takes one to know one. And make no mistake, Gardner Minshew knows this cancer-kicking, life-saving, diehard Coug definitely fits that bill. As for the Apple Cup this weekend,
I've gotten a couple reach outs on Twitter saying oh, if you're going to be at the game, I don't want to be there. And I'm I'm not trying to be a black cloud.
But of course, Andrea's far from that. She's the ray of light that if you find your day taking a bad turn, you hope to see.
I hope at Apple Cup nothing happens, but obviously if there's anyone in need, I will always be there.
That was Corey Howard reporting. Right now, it's the day after Thanksgiving, and Christmas lights are going up across town. Neighbors helping neighbors. One family story brings everything full circle here in Spokane. Ava Wainhouse joins us now. Ava.
This house behind me might just look like an ordinary home decorated for Christmas, but it's the story of how and why these Christmas lights went up today that is truly the special part.
It's just one little thing that I feel like I can do for somebody that had such a big impact on at least my family's life and a lot of the other families in the area too.
Steve Borchers is the owner of Window Genie in Spokane Valley. During the holiday season, he and his team decorate people's homes with Christmas lights. And every once in a while, they donate their lights in time for someone special.
When I saw the name, it was kind of familiar, and then also the address. And by the time I got here, I'm like, wait a second.
This year, a familiar house brought memories flooding back.
It's 13 years at least.
The woman who called asking for help putting lights up was someone Steve knew over a decade ago.
Pat used to run a daycare out of her home and used to babysit both of my kids, Allison and Ryan.
13 years later, here they are.
I'm Allison.
And I'm Ryan.
The kids only remember little things from all those years ago. A high chair, the TV down the hallway.
Didn't remember much about it at all, but I can know that she took care of us and helped my parents out too, so it's nice to give back to her.
Today, they wanted to be here with their dad as they went inside their old babysitter's home to say hi. What they didn't know was that Christmas might look a little different next year for Pat and her family.
It might be the last Christmas that the kids are going to be home.
Pat has stage 4 cancer. Her husband died not long ago.
I almost started crying on her porch because here's this person that I know and everything that she did for me and my family over the years.
Not knowing what lies ahead, Steve says Pat just wanted to make sure the house shined bright this year for her kids on Christmas.
She wasn't looking for anything. She didn't want anything. She was just telling me what was going on in her life. And like I said, I literally almost started crying in her porch, and it just touched me. So here we are.
It's stories like these that truly show you how small the world really is, especially in tight-knit communities like Spokane. And as we were here earlier today, neighbors stopped by to tell me how special of a woman Pat really is. And we know that Steve and his kids definitely agree. Reporting in Spokane, Ava Wainhouse, back to you.
She certainly is. Thank you, Ava. Happening next tomorrow, the Coeur d'Alene Police Department will host its annual Christmas Toy Drive. The drive helps provide toys for children hospitalized in Sacred Heart Children's Hospital and Kootenai Health's NICU. The event will take place at the Hayden Walmart from 9 to 3. Tomorrow is also Small Business Saturday, a day to encourage you to shop local. Here's a few local stores calling for shoppers this holiday season. Do you have a vinyl fan in your family? Well, maybe stop by 4,000 Holes in Spokane, which is celebrating Record Store Day with deals. If you're looking for a gift basket, Northwest has baskets filled with regional sweet and savory snacks. Or maybe you have an avid knitter in the family. It might be nice to stop by the Hook and Needle Nook for your yarn needs. Also, a short drive away from Spokane, you can also get your urban country flair on at the Golden Gem Mercantile in Rockford. Meanwhile, over in the Panhandle, if you're looking for some greenery in the winter, check out the Fern Plant Shop in Coeur d'Alene. If you got a chef in your life, how about heading to the Culinary Stone on Main Street in the Lake City? And a good stop for stocking stuffers is the Well-Read Moose. They have books, stickers, and everything in between. We'll, of course, have much more information about Small Business Saturday on our website. That's nonstoplocal.com. Still to come here tonight on Nonstop Local at 11, they're calling it a miracle after a man went overboard and survived 15 hours in the water. The rescue caught all on camera. Then McDonald's is delivering from the bathroom and Mickey has crab hands. The wildest stories you've heard all day coming up in your Mad Minute. But Ashley's back with your full weather forecast. That's next on Nonstop Local at 11. Welcome back. Tonight, we're getting a new look at the moment a Carnival cruise ship passenger was rescued after falling into the Gulf of Mexico. On Wednesday night, the man disappeared. By Thursday afternoon, he was reported missing. A few hours later, crew members realized what happened and the Coast Guard was moving in. 6 hours later, the Coast Guard spotted something in the water. It was the missing man, still awake, still alive, desperately treading water after 15 hours in the water.
I'll be honest with you, a 17-year career, this case is unlike anything I've been a part of. So, I think it kind of blows the normalcy out of the water here, and really just shows the will to live is something that you need to account for in every search and rescue case. This is, like I said, one of the absolute longest that I've heard about, and just one of those Thanksgiving miracles.
The man was flown to a hospital back in New Orleans where he was treated for hypothermia and dehydration, but he should make a full recovery. Investigators are now trying to figure out how he went overboard. Still to come on 11 o'clock, sports is next. We'll see you back here after the break. Welcome back. It's our Mad Minute for the night. In the next 60 seconds, I'll tell you the craziest stories you've heard all day. So let's put a Mad Minute on the clock and go. The internet is split after a woman says she left Thanksgiving dinner early because her sister's dog was there. Apparently, it sheds too much, but the internet thinks that she's too much. What do you think? A judge in Columbia was just suspended for 3 months after dialing into a Zoom meeting half naked, smoking a cigarette in bed. Oh boy, a long forgotten statue of Lobster Mickey found its way back to Boston after disappearing for 20 years. The Elridge whore is now sitting in a sneaker store, scaring customers, I guess. McDonald's workers in Atlanta helped with a different kind of delivery after they helped the woman give birth to her baby in the bathroom. The parents have lovingly nicknamed the baby Nugget. A Chinese couple is sparking controversy for their parenting methods after punishing them for watching too much TV by making them stay up all night watching TV. And 2 men in California are lucky to be alive after they went into cardiac arrest during a half marathon. Thankfully, the man running behind them was a cardiologist. As always, you can read extended versions of your Mad Minute right now on our website. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back with forecaster Ashley Wesley. Here is your final look at our forecast, starting with Apple Cup happening this weekend. And those overnight lows are going to be quite cold in the 30s, cloudy and cold that is. So be prepared to bundle up and layer up as you head out and cheer on your favorite team. Now for tonight, 20s and 30s is what we have going on with 34 degrees tonight out in Lewiston. We still have that weather system that's going to continue to track south and east of the region with that wintry mix intact. Now tomorrow, we're getting a break in between systems, and that's going to bring us some mostly cloudy skies, but then our next weather system arrives coming into Sunday, bringing us some moderate to heavy mountain snowfall, lower elevations looking at a bit of a mix with some colder temperatures in store for next week. John?
All right, Ashley, thank you. It's not too bad for the folks down on the Palouse this weekend. They're just going to get an extra couple coats. At least it's not raining or snowing.
That's right.
All right, as Claire would say, we have to honor her in her tradition. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.